Joining us now here on Weekend at Gabe's. It's just such a pleasure that we're able to nab him because he's flaming hot in these streets. Sham1016, all the way from the West Coast, joining us tonight on Weekend at Gabe's. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good, man. I do a podcast called Pick Your Brain Podcast with Joe Haas from the Dirty Science crew, and we talk nothing else but West Coast hip hop. And so it is a pleasure to have a West Coast rapper on our show to talk about what is going on your side of the world. So I came across your album. Two Dope Boys tweeted it out, and I just, off the whim of just like thirsting for West Coast hip hop, I gave it a go, and I'm so glad that I did. It's an enjoyable album. Everybody's Enemy. There's so much invested into the record. We're gonna pull all that out in a moment. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for putting that out for us.
Appreciate you having me, man. For real. Appreciate you even tapping in and being appreciative of this thing that we got going on over here in California and LA specifically.
I'm always thirsting to learn more about the scene out there. A lot of the podcasts that we do kind of reflects on the storied history. So, like, we've spoken to DJ Redmatic from the Beat Junkies. Mm-hmm. We talked with Blue and Exile a couple weeks ago. Tajay from Throws of Mischief. So it's good to start to get some of the current state of affairs that are happening in LA. So this is good stuff.
It's a whole new game right now, man. It's a whole new crop. It's a whole new generation going on right now.
I mentioned this in my review for our the station that I contribute to, Vocalo, here at 91.1, that the record has all the street symmetry that you'd look for in a gangster rap album, but I wouldn't categorize it as a gangster rap effort. But it has all the elements, but it's a lot smarter and a lot more intellect invested into the storytelling, where without the vulgarity overtaking and that being the story, but the storytelling itself. How much of the storied history of West Coast gangster rap, but also trying to evolve into a more modern day of making hip hop music where it's playable on daytime radio. Talk about like how you're trying. I don't know if you're trying, but definitely you are expanding the map of the way that we listen to hardcore hip hop out of the
I apologize for Gabe. He's an old head, man.
It's an old head. And I see, we got the balance, so you're gonna have to intervene. But I try to keep in between. I appreciate that. I always appreciate the OGs, but I don't even think it's an effort. I don't think it was a conscious effort. It's just a reflection of who I am. Of course, that's like, gangster rap or West Coast rap, that people know of is the backdrop of where we grow up at. You feel me? So
right.
Really being from the city, really being from LA, you're going to grow up on shit like that. We grew up on like more, at least for me, I grew up on the East Side. I grew up on the DJ Quicks, the Sugar Frees. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know on that other side, Midwest and East Coast and stuff like that, y'all think of Dr. Dre, the Chronic and shit, but I gotta give flowers to the folks like DJ Quick, Battle Cat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dog Pound. The Dog Food is one of the best, West Coast albums ever to me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
With Street Gospel. So just really having all of those things mixed in what's going on today, from the 03 Greedos, the Dracos, to the RJs, to the Joe Moses, Rimble, all these folks out here right now. It's just like, that's what I'm listening to. That's what I'm a mixture of, and also like I always thought and listened to stuff outside of my city, outside of the coast. You get what I'm saying? So it's not going to be, just all 90s low riders and khaki suits and shit like that. You feel me? Like we out and it ain't 94 no more, but we definitely I pay homage, and I get older and I realize like how much I was influenced by that shit, even from up the Bay, you know what I'm saying, with people like Keek the Sneak, E40.
I love Bay music too.
Yeah,
it doesn't get the same love, bro, but Bay music is fun, man.
Come on, man. And I went to school up in Fresno, so that's right in the middle of California.
Nice.
So
nice.
I went off to Fresno State, so I got the LA influence from growing up out here, and then I got partners from the Bay, from Richmond, from Oakland, from all these places, San Jose and stuff like that. So they put me on to the Mac Dre's. They put me on to the, you know what I'm saying, the Stressmatics, you know, like I owe a lot of that to my Bay Area partners and shit like that. So it's just a mixture of everything, you feel me? But to circle back to your question, how I put it together, was it an effort? Nah, it wasn't an effort. It's just me and my experience and what I grew up on and really just making it my own way. And as far as vulgarity, it could get disrespectful, you know. I say my little shit. I
Oh yeah,
all day, like that's just me, you feel me? Like I'm naturally born, you know, I was born into this vulgarity and shit. They just merely adopted it, you feel me? So like
left.
you know, we grew up off of, like I said,
I
like I was a kid with my uncle, and I charge a lot of it to my uncle, like playing shit that my mom's probably wouldn't even want me to listen to, but I grew up on listening to Bomb Ass Pussy by Dog Pound, you know what I'm saying, and listening to these interludes and shit like that. You know, so I get a lot of that. That's always in the background. That's in the tuck. I pull it out like whenever I need to. Like I said, Sugar Free is one of the greatest. So you already know where my mindset is at.
The album opens up with Pro Style, which is like this sort of evaluation of being Black in America. And the thing that stood out to me was like everyone, like there's this disrespect for Black men, and then it's like these other cultures who try to connect to Black people, but in a sense of for their benefit, but then they don't really like Black people. It's this weird dynamic that America obviously living here has caused. And then you kind of break it down in this very sensible way, and they're like, and now because of all the shit that America has created for me and this space that I live in, the society that was built for me, I now need therapy, but guess what? I can't afford therapy.
I can't afford that shit. We tie for some reason, and this shit is gonna get like deep, I guess. But you know, we tie a lot of our value to our fucking jobs and shit. You know, they place, which was all systematically placed, and is a child of racism, systematic racism, placing healthcare, how much healthcare you get based on the fucking job that you get. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of Black folks, we out here, you know, we pushed away from these good jobs that's going to have the good benefits. So, shit, a lot of us can't afford no therapy. A lot of us will go to therapy. That's a false narrative that a lot of people put out, you know, that Black people are they reject therapy. We can't afford that shit a lot of the times. So we dealing with a lot of fucked up shit going on in our head, PTSD and all that shit. And we don't even know what's going on. You feel me? So in a super simple sense, and I don't think people got why I call it Pro Style, because Pro Style is a Black hair gel that we use in the community and shit. You should look it up. But yeah, try to break it down in the most simple way. And it's basically a reflection of myself and my mindset and where I was at, as well as where we at just overall, consistently and constantly what's going on in our head. So
that's that's fascinating that you just mentioned about like the therapy and how this stereotype that Black people don't want therapy is like, and the same thing here in Chicago, because we obviously deal with the large violence.
That'd go crazy up there.
Yeah, I mean, we do like to highlight the positive things that are happening.
Of course.
Shout out Pastor Donovan Price doing his thing. You know,
we did. We had a pastor on almost 2 weeks ago who goes out there and does community work as soon as shootings take place. He's on site helping the families and also trying to do violence prevention. So there's some great people who are doing some of that work. And I'm pretty sure in LA and South Central are
the same thing. It's definitely the same thing, but you know, we definitely always need to open that conversation of what's really going on and why we even need those type of folks on the ground doing that work. You feel me? So I'm just opening up the conversation and letting you know what the mindset is and what's going on. And it was important to put that song at the beginning of this whole album just to show you like this is the whole purpose in this before we get into the other shit.
But interesting enough, hang on, Sam. Interesting enough
I'm
that
trying to get a question off, man. Damn.
Get your question up.
No, I'm gonna segue because this is important. That because don't wait too long. You then like tell the story of a 15-year-old who's in the streets, whose mother's trying to like pull him back and like be that blanket and that security, but she also knows that she can't like always be there. And there's a lot of children and young teenagers in Chicago and LA, New York, all these urban Black and brown communities and cities that are dealing with the same struggle. And you paint this perfect picture of this 15-year-old who is actively invested in the streets, despite having someone love them, but they're just whatever that magnet or that gravitational pull is, like they're invested into the street and they can't get out.
That part. So it's just that one is more so, that duality, right? So I'm looking at it from a mother's perspective because I come from a single parent home, a mom raising a boy. So a lot of the times it's like, I want to protect him, but I got to let him be a man at the end of the day, and I got to let him see the world. But, I don't want to be overbearing, but I do want to be protective. So she understands, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us that we are our mom's babies a lot of the time, especially if that's all we grew up under. So it's like, I know the temptation that's out here, you get what I'm saying? But
yeah.
And I want to protect him from that, and I'm doing everything that I can, but I do understand that I can't have him under me all the time. I got to go to work, and just the principle of it all. Like, I can't just keep him under me. And also at the same time, it's like, this is my baby. This is, I remember when he was here, this is the innocent child, not knowing this a whole nother, situation. When he go outside, he turned into a whole different person. I think to a degree, no matter what walk of life you in, your mom is going to look at you in a certain light. So, but when you go outside, you got to carry it in a different way. At least when we grew up and how we grew up, when we go outside, you better put your game face on, especially when you go into certain neighborhoods and stuff like that. So you need to go ahead and turn that innocent shit off from when you leave the house, you know what I'm saying? And then put your game face on. And then as far as in the street aspect, man, I think it was important to highlight the fact that he was 15 and the fact that, those kids out here younger than that. I got a partner, he worked in the juvenile system with that got murders, that got hot ones. You feel me? A lot of them kids is 14, 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? Like out here, those are the troopers. You feel me? Like if you gang banging and you around that age, best believe them kids, they the ones that's out here doing their shit. So you better, you might think it's a kid, but that's a grown man right there. So it ain't no, you know what I'm saying? It's fucked up as it sound. It's no type of it's no passes with that. Once you take that path and you wearing that certain hat and you representing this neighborhood, shit, you fair game. You a grown man to me. So yeah, that's basically just giving you an idea of what goes on and how it is, and it's at least out here. I think it's the same thing in Chicago too. You feel me? So
it almost feels like your version of another South Central MC, Ice Cube, with Little Ass G. It kind of feels like you're in that same territory of telling the story of the youth who are sucked into the street life.
Right. And also having that point to prove too, a little sense of peer pressure or that sense of feeling like I need to be the man out here. I need to be him. Like I need to be one of them ones. I'm about to, I want to do this. You feel me? I want to be the first one to hop out, walk up, and you know what I mean? Like shit like that. So it's plenty of kids that I grew up with that was on that type of time. You feel me? Some of them still serving time from when we was in middle school, So yeah, man. I know my boy over here, he been waiting to get a question in, man.
Yeah, let me switch gears. We got a little heavy there. That was cool, Nice.
What's up, bro?
Nice job, Gabe. You talking about old school Ice Cube shit. That's cool, man. That's cool. Let's talk about a record that's a lot of fun and that I enjoy a lot. So much so that I put it on the Breaking Sound Radio show for Saturday. Tomorrow afternoon, tune in 3 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. But Let Me Be, man. One of my favorite sounds of the West Coast is that vocoder sound. I just had so much fun with it. I went to college in Santa Barbara, so I just think about driving up and down the 101 listening to that song. Tell me a little bit about that record and tell me more about your beat selection, man. Like, what are the relationships you have with producers and what's that arena like out there?
For the first part, the first part of the question would Let Me Be. It gives you that nostalgic West Coast feel, but at the same time, it's ironic because it got the Go Brooklyn chant in it.
Right, yeah.
Put that in there for some reason. I just heard that. So I guess that's paying homage and just balancing the scale a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I grew up listening to a lot of different shit. My uncle was putting me onto a lot of different shit. So not just the West Coast, Nas and the Bigs, the Locks, Styles P, Jay the Kid, like all these folks, you feel me? Like everybody. So it was that perfect marriage, but at the same time, it was fun, and it's just basically telling you how it is growing up. You know, I choose not to gang bang. I got my folks, my affiliations, and I come from that background and shit like that. But I personally don't do the front line and shit. But for some reason, people think just because I'm not pushing the line on something that they think is sweet, and I just be wanting to be chill. I just be wanting to leave me alone, let me be. Like,
That's what it sounds like. Yeah,
I'm telling you, I've been in these situations. I've been in these predicaments to where it's like, all right, you think it's gonna be something, and it's not gonna be that, and it's not gonna end in your favor. Like, I've been there. You feel me? Like, just yeah. So I'm just letting you know, like, I just want to do what I do. I just want to chill. It's too many bitches out here for me not to be. You feel me? Like, it's too much money to make. It's money on the floor. You feel me? I'm just into some getting fly shit, eating good, and you feel me, laying up and doing my music or whatever. You feel me? Making this go. But you know, some people be trying you, so it was just more so one of the things where it's like, yo, just let me be, bro. Just, you feel me? Just keep it moving.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, you ain't even got to do all that. And as far as the second part in the production, it's just whatever I hear, catch my ear, because I like a lot of melody. I listen to more R&B than rap. So if you notice, a lot of this stuff that I choose is going to be a lot more melodic. I don't want to just bar you to death. Like, okay, rap is cool and shit.
Word.
Bro, I'm not finna sit here and rap 360 bars to you. Like, I get, man. Like, I actually be around women. Like, they want to be, they want to listen.
Yo, you just upset him. You upset
me?
Gabe, man.
Hey, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I love rap. And I'll rap my ass off. I know for a fact that I'll rap damn near anybody that you put in front of me. Let's not get that fucked up. Let's have that. Let's make that perfectly clear. But at the same time, like, I'm not just doing that all day, bro. Like, I gotta have something that's gonna be melodic, that's gonna flow. You feel me? Like, I grew up off of Jodeci and Tony. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like some player shit. You get what I'm saying? So I like to mix the two. I like to merge it a lot together. And I just work with people, the homies, really. Like, I work with people like sounds like TC, Imani. Shout out to Imani. He's the one who was on the talk box on 2 of the records, and he does production. He's crazy. Corey G, who executive produced. He's like a fucking crazy musician, come from a whole family of musicians that, you know, he came from that church. So it's some church musicians and stuff like that. Brothers play guitar, bass. He do drums and keys. So it's just like a lot of the stuff I choose is musical, like very musical and melodic. So I would say that's what inspires a lot of the song selection and beat selection.
I'm glad you showed love to the producers, because that's always the vibe. And I'm glad you talked about your musicality, because that was my next question. I've seen a lot of your live shows, or at least when we were doing live shows, included the live band, or at least some live instrumental. I wanted to ask you, you know, you could pick anybody, you know, nobody's off the table, dead or alive. Who would you ideally have as a band member, you know?
As a band member?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's tough. Damn. Prince. What the fuck?
Prince.
Off the top. I mean, if we talking alive, like, I'll have Ty Dolla $ign in my band for sure. Like, they don't give him his musical credit, but that man is a unicorn. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, that dude crazy. So yeah, as far as dead or alive, I gotta say Prince, then Ty. Yeah. I'm cool with that right there. Like,
that's good. I'm cool with that, man.
You can't do nothing with that, man.
No, man, he's gonna steal the show. It's not even your show anymore.
Yeah, it's not even my show at that point.
It's Prince featuring you.
I'm gonna just bring him out, and then I'm gonna leave. At that point, you got it. Give me my 10 minutes before you. I'm gonna bring you out, and I'm out of here. I can't come back from fucking what? Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've read that you do graphic design, or do you have a?
I want to talk about that too. Yeah, for sure.
I got a background in that.
How do you compare writing a song and graphic design, because they both have, you know, components about it of building and structuring? Are there any comparable similarities to the two?
Just the mood, really. Like, a lot of the times, that was as far in college and stuff like that, that was just my hustle. You feel me? Like even in high school, that was my hustle. So it was more so like whatever the person wanted, whoever came to me, whoever was paying what you wanted, cool. But when it comes to my stuff, because I do a lot of my design stuff or I commission a lot of folks that I mess with and I fuck with as far as artists, it comes down to the mood and the vision. You know, am I in a dark one? You know, it depends on the theme, it depends on the song. So in that sense, just like with writing music, it depends on the beat. What am I going to talk about? Is it a dark beat? Am I, you know, how I'm feeling? So it's pretty parallel in that sense. So it goes hand in hand, and I think having that graphic design background puts me ahead of a lot of dudes, of a lot of folks that's doing this stuff. You feel me? Because now I got more control and creative control on my branding, you know, and how I want my marketing stuff to look. Because it's all going to come together. It's all going, you know, be unified. It's going to be in unison. So that definitely put me in the right place.
How would you describe your style as a graphic designer? Because I've seen a lot of collage work, and I like what you said about the mood, sort of changing things. I think that as an artist, you got to feel it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's not going to be genuine. How would you describe your style? What are you looking to do? How are you? You know, what excites you about it?
My style, I like the collage a lot, but more so, just more vintage. You know, it gotta have like the vintage feel. It gotta have like an older feel. I like a lot of, you know, Jet magazines and stuff like that type of stuff. Some of my favorite artwork, actually, I would say two of my favorite time periods of artwork would be when they was having like deco art in the 40s, like in the 1940s and shit. So like deco art, and then also like in the 20s, 30s, even up to the 60s, the horror posters, movie posters and shit like that.
I noticed that. I noticed a little bit of that. You know, Creature from the Black Lagoon type deal.
Like all that. You know what I'm saying? Like Wolfman and Frankenstein, like all that shit. Like those are my favorite. That's like because a lot of that was hand drawn and hand painted. Even the Halloween movie posters and the old Nightmare on Elm Street posters, all that shit was hand painted and drawn and shit. And just the color of it, the contrast and the darkness of it, I love that type of shit. Like I just like dark art, low key. You feel me? So I try to mix all that in there. So that's where I get a lot of the inspiration from.
Hell yeah!
Before we let you go, Sham, everybody's enemy. You seem like such a nice guy. Why do people want to beat you up?
I am a nice guy, man, but you know, I'm black. In America, you feel me? Like, so my mindset with making everybody's enemy is just like with pro style, right? So, just where I was at when I was making that, the whole concept of being a person that stands on his own 10, to choose not to gang bang. At least out here, you go into any neighborhood, they ask you where you from. At least for me, I might be extra out, but I'm not gonna say it in the most polite way. We could do whatever you want to do about it, like, cause you know whatever happens happens. If it be in the high power's will for me to go, then it's that time. But I'm not running from nothing. So in the game banger's mindset, oh, this is an easy score because he's not from nowhere, so we ain't got to worry about no repercussions or consequences.
Right.
So they think. I told you earlier, it's like just because I choose not to do it don't mean I don't come from that, you know. And I had this little situation in a little situation where something like that happened. And I came back the next day, and you know, it was a lot of apologies and a lot of people that's not, you know, they don't be outside like that no more. So just stuff like that. And also at the same time, you know, the police being on you, being in the back of police cars for no reason. Shit, even trying to get into corporate America. And this is something that's important too, especially for my college students. And we was talking about mental health. That post-grad depression shit, that shit is real. You going to school and all that, and then you trying to get into this world and trying to be successful and trying to do it the right way, only to get denied in every way possible. That'll fuck with you. So just dealing with a lot of that whole second guessing, like I'm trying to do it the right way. I could easily go the other way and, you know, get some bread and make it, you know, make a cool living, but I'm trying to do it the right way, but I'm still getting denied. You feel me? Like just stuff like that. So that in that sense too, you know, you're an enemy in the corporate America's eyes, you know, from the police as well. And even to these women, like, you know, I had situations where you get that you ain't shit text, or I hate you text and shit like that. It's like, you know, like you got all these factions against you and you feel like, you know, as a black man, you just shit everybody's enemy in that sense. And that's where I was, and that's what I feel like. It's like my version of me against the world.
Mm.
Pockets on the same shit, you know what I'm saying? Like this is basically that for me. It's the world. So, but yeah, I'm a nice guy, man. I'm a cool, laid back type dude, bro. Like,
All right, I got one more question real
What's up?
quick, and this is a
Yeah.
quick answer.
Yeah.
What's the taco spot, bro? What's
What's
the taco spot? Everybody swear about something out there.
Come
What's
on, man.
the taco spot?
You talking to that's the one thing I'm into. You talking to the foodie over here, man. Like whenever you come to this city, like, man, all you need to do is tap in with me and I get you right. But as far as tacos, you know, any taco stand, I would say Leo's Tacos off of La Brea, or you'll go to the Domino's. They got this fire taco spot. You know, they grilling the chicken right outside. That shit go crazy. And then you got these tacos. If you want some birria, go to Poppy's. You know what I'm saying? They got the red tortilla. You feel me, with the consomme. Yeah, dip that right in there and all that. So yeah, I got the spots for you. You feel me? Like whatever type of mood you in for, we got that for you.
I love asking LA people what their favorite taco spot is. You get a different answer every time. It's great.
Yeah.
Sham, thank you so much for joining us on Weekend at Gabe. Everybody's Enemy, the new album out. It's on all digital platforms. Go put it in your life. It's the thing to do. Appreciate your time. We hope to have you back soon.
Always. Appreciate y'all for real.
All right, enjoy your evening. We appreciate it.
Peace.
All right, that was Sham1016 joining us from the West Coast. Fantastic guest, man. Yeah, just super smart.
Just an awesome dude making really awesome music and seems to be pleasing both of us, which is good news for him because that means he's got a wide fan base.